doing, folks? Welcome back to the GM's Alcove. Got another episode in my refight of the Battle of Tifernum from SPQR, a game by GMT Games. A fantastic game recreating the battles of the Roman Republic. Next up, we have Ignatius, the leader of the Samnites. He's up in the turn. He's about to solidify his left wing as he pushes forward with an attack in echelon. And we'll see what he can do. He's up next. So, folks, let's get ready and roll some dice. All right, so here we are. Here's Ignatius. He's next up in initiative with an initiative value of 6. He's a command range of 7. So at the moment, he pretty much has all these units from about here back within his command range. So he doesn't really have to move. But I think I'm going to start off this orders phase by issuing him an order to move slightly forward, getting like up to this position, because I want to be in a position, without question, be able to issue some individual commands, or individual orders, rather, to these units up here. I want to get some of these units that are routed. I want to get them rallied, and if I can get some units to recover, we'll do that too. My main concern is the main Van Legion equivalent units. This unit's in good shape. I could move him forward. This unit right here as well, I could move him forward, but he has 1 cohesion hit. If he moves, he's going to incur a second one, because this will be the second time he moved this turn. And this unit back here as well, I'll be moving a second time if I move him. So they will incur some cohesion hits if they do so. I want to support these lead units here of the van that are in contact with the Romans, because if I don't, they're all but lost. This unit is pretty much lost. He's got 5 cohesion hits and a TQ of 6, so he's in danger of breaking. These other units are a little bit more reasonable. 3 and a 3 out of 5 TQ and a 6 TQ. Now I can move these units, if they were in his command range, this way, forward, because they have this empty hex, but I don't want to do that. And they are faster. The movement allowance is actually faster than the Legion troops. That allows them to move. However, if I want to move them back this way, they got to be able to change facing, and I can't do that in this case. The main reason is because these Legion equivalent Samnites have a unit in their frontal zone of control, right here and right here, so they can't. So they're basically not going to be moving at all. Better idea would be to support him. Maybe get some of these units up here to join in the fray. So Ignatius has to do something this orders phase to kind of rectify this situation. If I do get momentum, that would be great. I'm going to bring up some of the second line units in the main battle line. I'm going to bring them up, get them up into this position to support the frontal attack. Yeah, that's the goal. But first things first, let's get into some rallying. I'm going to move Ignatius a little bit forward, and then I'm going to do some rallying of units. All right, there we go. Now again, Ignatius has 6 individual orders he can give this order phase. It's basically his initiative rating. And his first was to move himself to this position, bring some more units into command range of 7, and he did move 3 of his Legion equivalent Samnite units up into this battle line formed up against the Hastati. This unit was here, it moved here, it took a cohesion hit for moving the second time. It had no missile capability, however, it was missile no, so it now has 2 cohesion hits, and it's supporting its friend here. So we'll see what happens. This unit will be marked with a shock must check TQ because he is a heavier unit. Also, we moved this unit and this unit, they were back here somewhere, up into the conflict as well. Each of these will be marked with shock must check TQ as well. They both had missile capability, and they threw their 1 javelin that they have before they need to reload into their targets here, and this guy shot into here. They did 1 cohesion hit apiece to the Hastati, so that was good. But again, remember, because they're moving the second time, these units of Samnites did take a cohesion hit for that. And as you can see, they're now marked with cohesion hit as well as a missile no. Of course, the Hastati had no missile capability at this point. They shot off their javelins earlier. So yeah, this is the case. So we're going to have some shock combat going on here. Now they're all marked. And he has 2 more orders he can give, and he's going to spend both of them to make some rallies. He's going to attempt to rally this unit of Legion equivalent Samnites, and this unit as well, within his command range. So basically, what this will be is when I try to rally this unit, I'm going to roll a d10. I have to roll equal or less than his initiative plus 1. His initiative is 6, plus 1 is 7. So I need to score 7 or less on a d10 for this unit to rally. And the same thing will apply for this unit as well. So first of all, let's make this roll for this unit. We need a 7 or less. Okay, let's make this roll. 9, failed. All right, now with that roll, a 9, disaster hits. Now if I rolled under the 7, he would rally. He'd be flipped to his depleted side, he'd be rallied, marked with a rallied marker, and so on. But if I fail the roll, this unit would normally make a route move, and that's not good. But if my roll was higher than the printed TQ of the unit I'm attempting to rally, it's 6 in this case. The unit is instead eliminated. So I just lost the unit with a roll of a 9. That is unfortunate. However, while we're still here, let's try the other unit. Now its printed TQ is 5. So if I fail the roll and it's higher than 5, the unit is also eliminated. Again, I need a 7 or less just to rally him. So let's see what happens here. That is unfortunate. 4. It passes. It is a successful rally. So what happens is we're going to flip this marker, this routed marker, to rallied. Also, this unit here is flipped to its depleted side. You can see it has that white band on it. That shows it's depleted. There's various penalties in the game. In addition, it will be marked as, if it's capable of missile combat, it will be marked with missile no. It just rallied. So you start off with missile no when they're rallied. In addition, I can have any facing I want. Let's get him turned around. And there he is. Now there's one more fun thing to do here, and we've got to roll on a chart. It's the rally table. And there you go. This is the rally table. And basically, I'm going to make another D10 roll, and this is to see how many cohesion hits it currently has after rallying. Now what we're going to do is roll a D10. We're going to check out its printed TQ value, which I believe is 5 in this case. So we're going to use this column to see how many cohesion hits it starts off with as a rallied unit. There's modifiers, +2 if the unit was previously depleted. That doesn't apply. Rallied units are automatically depleted. Rallied foot units are automatically missile no. So there's a little reference to that. Okay, we did all that. There's no modifier. Straight up roll under the first column. Let's see what happens. All right, here's our roll. We get a 7. If we go to our table, 7 under a printed TQ of 5, 2. So he starts off with 2 cohesion hits. So that's the result. So we're going to put 2 cohesion hits under that unit. All right. And there it is. So let's put that under there. So he's missile no, he's depleted, and he's got 2 cohesion hits, and he is rallied. He can attempt to rally as long as he's in clear terrain and he's out of missile range of enemies and not adjacent to an enemy, and so on and so forth. The rules state the requirements to make the rally attempt. But that's finished, and Ignatius has done his 6 orders for the orders phase. All right, at this point we're in the shock segment. Again, the first thing we do is we indicate which units are going to be given shock no TQ markers. Basically units that didn't move in this case that I want to fight with. And that's going to be pretty much all these guys up here in the front line, like this. They have to be within command range of Ignatius. And unfortunately, I checked this. This unit is not within command range. So he's not going to be taking part in the combat. This unit is, however, and it looks like he's going to be squaring off against both of these units because this unit is not taking part. So it has to be attacked. And this is a Stati unit. This has a leader in it. We will be checking for casualties in this case. See if this leader is suffered any loss. So we're going to have to check that. And yeah, so I'm going to show you the results of this, the end of the combat, and checking for leader casualties, and so on and so forth. So let me show you the results of this shock combat. There we go. That's the end of combat, and this is the result. All these units of Romans are engaged, as are all these Samnites engaged. You'll also notice that there was a unit that routed for the Samnites, and over here, this unit routed as well. Yeah, that wasn't good. Overall, it didn't go too well for the Samnites, but I'm telling you, it could have been a whole lot worse. I think this unit right here, and by the way, the Perfecta did survive the combat. He wasn't wounded or anything. This unit of Roman Estati is now at 5 cohesion hits. He's 1 away from routing. So there is that. He's taken the brunt of the fighting here. Taken the worst of it so far. This unit of Samnites up here was 1 less than its TQ. It made its special TQ check and reduced its hits by an additional 1, so it went from 5 to 4. So he's holding his ground. So all in all, the Samnites are still holding, although barely. And for the Romans, let's see, got 3 hits there, 4 hits there out of 6 possible, and 2 hits on him. Yeah, it's pretty iffy for them as well, except here in the center, 2 hits and 1. They're holding pretty good. But, of course, this unit was... Let's see what he's at, actually. He's at 2, so he's okay. Of course, this unit didn't take part in the fighting. Still iffy right now. There's nobody has a big advantage at the moment outside of the Romans, just through sheer numbers and holding the shape of their line. At this point, it's time to move on to Ignatius's momentum phase. He gets to attempt a momentum, and he's going to do that. So let's see that roll. Of course, he needs to roll less than a 6. He gets a 0, so he's good. All right, here we go. I would have preferred to use a line command as soon as possible to get these guys moved forward, at least this section of the main units. And yeah, but I'm not going to be able to do that because I'm not within 2 hexes of these guys. So yeah, there is that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to issue individual orders once again. I want to rally some of these routed units and get myself in a position where hopefully if I do get another momentum, my final, I'll be able to move these guys up, because at this point it's critical that I fill this gap up, and that's what these guys are for. So I'm going to have to try and do that. So let's do some individual orders, get some units rallied, move him back a little bit so I can use line commands, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay, and that's it. Orders phase complete. He did move back. He's now within 2 hexes of these guys in the back line, so if I get another momentum, my last one, I want to move these guys up. I did some recoveries on the light infantry, freshen them up a little bit so that they don't have any hits. This guy's still got 1. I think he had 3. He's knocked down to 1 through recovery orders. I think this guy is still suffering. Yeah, he's at 4. There is a unit routing here as well, which is light infantry. I didn't touch them. I did make a couple rally attempts. This stack rallied. These are Legion equivalent troops from the van. They're facing this direction. They're marked no missile, and they came back with 1 cohesion hit. Not bad. So they're in okay shape, even though they're depleted. However, I did lose 1 unit through a failed rally attempt. It was a little too high, and this unit right here, Legion equivalent van troops, was eliminated. So that added 5 points to the route point total for the Samnites. They're now at 27, going against the Romans 20. So the Romans have a slight advantage in terms of route. All these guys, of course, remain engaged. Ignatius is the active commander. These guys are not in his command range and will not resolve a shock combat here. Remember, these guys have to resolve their shock combat with a no check TQ if they're within the command range of the activated leader, which is Ignatius, and he just moved it down that way. So that's the situation. These guys are still basically fighting it out. Yeah, most important thing now, see if we can get Ignatius using momentum one more time. Let's make the roll. He needs to roll under his initiative. 6 or less, he gets a 3. He gets that final momentum on his third activation for the turn. So this is it. This is good. This is going to help out a lot because I definitely need to get these guys with a line command moved up here. They can move up to 5, and we'll see if I want to continue the fighting here. I'll think about that as well. All right, we're going to leave it with that. They did move up. And you'll notice there is some staggering and there is no stacking. I unstacked all these guys. What I did do is I did leave some avenues right in through here and right in here so that frontline units can fall back, because I don't want them going through my lines, which may disrupt my formation, cause some TQ hits. I am still not in range of these guys. These melees are still going on. I'm not going to force them to be resolved at this point by moving my commander within his command range of these guys. So we're just going to have to see what happens in the next turn. But folks, that ends the final orders phase of the turn. It also ends the momentum. And we go into D, the route and reload phase. This is something new. We're closing in on the end of turn 1. So let's go to the route and reload phase and start by removing rallied markers. That's these little counters. We just basically remove them from play, because that tells us that while they are so marked, they can't move and do other things. So now they're available to do that. Next is route movement. This is where units that are marked with route actually move, and they're not going to move just 2 hexes like they initially do. In this case, during the route and reload phase, phase D of the turn sequence, any units marked as routed will move their printed movement allowance straight back towards their retreat edge. His is 6, so he's going to move 6 back in that direction. And there are priorities to this, where exactly the unit has to move, but this is pretty straightforward. There. So there he is. He's all the way back there. And that's it. That's the end of route movement. After this, we go to the reload segment. Eligible missile units may get more missiles. We go through all these units that are not in an enemy zone of control and not within range of a missile-capable unit. And if they qualify, they'll be able to remove any missile no or missile low marker. We just remove them. In other words, they got their full supply back. And I have to go through all the board here and check for any units that qualify and remove those missile no's and missile lows. For example, if we look right here, this unit that just rallied, they should be marked as missile no. This is removed. They just got resupplied, so they're good. That's removed. These guys are fighting, zone of control of the enemy. He is as well. He can't. This unit here is missile low. He's okay. He's not in range of the enemy. And I think the same applies here as well. Get rid of this missile no. And so on and so forth. We go through all these guys. As I said, none of these guys can reload. And that's the end of the reload segment. Then it goes to the flip all finished leaders to the front sides. And after that, we just clean up the battlefield. Remove all these moved markers. They don't apply no more. So all these leaders, this Tribune will be flipped back over to their unfinished side. So they're going to be activated again. And once that's done, we go to the final phase of the turn, which is the withdrawal phase. Each player checks their accumulated route points for their army to see if their army withdraws. Now, the Samnites can take up to 120 route points. They're currently at 27. Romans can take up to 150. They're currently at 20. The Triarii can be released and be able to move and take action once the Romans have reached 75 route points. In other words, things are getting desperate enough to release the Triarii. And they'll be able to move and such. But there you go, folks. That completes turn 1. All right, folks, there we go. That completes turn 1. Ignatius was pretty lucky there, getting some multiple momentums. I gotta admit, I was really dependent on success getting those momentums to be able to accomplish what I needed to do with them, including getting up those main units from the reserve position forward. Difficult task. Nonetheless, folks, there's the battle. There's turn 1. We're about to go into turn 2 in part 7 of this series. And I should point out that from this point on in the series, I want to go into as much detail with the rules as I did in the first turn of the game. I will, however, focus much on the battle itself. What I will do, however, is I will point out some rules that I have yet to cover and point them out to help you along the way in learning to play SPQR if you've never played it before. So folks, like, share, subscribe, leave me some comments, tell me how you feel about SPQR. If you like it and want to see more videos like this, it's a great battle, great fun. Folks, let's get into the next part of the battle and see who wins this Battle of Tifernum. Take care, folks, and remember, hang in there. It's only going to get better. Take care.